Welcome to Board Ghost, a story broadcast with games as the engine.
If living is a highway, then heaven is a bus stop. Been waiting for a minute there, but has it been forever? 'Cause dying don't agree with me, no.
We believe you're out there, hungry for stories for shared experiences. We can't see you, can't hear you, yet we will play for you. This night's offering is Fiasco. To learn how we generate stories playing the game of Fiasco, go check out our Fiasco Rules Primer. Fiasco is designed by Jason Morningstar and is published by Bully Pulpit Games. Our humble players tonight, myself, John Holt, with me, two new players.
William Holt, John's little brother.
And David Slifkin.
All right.
Not related.
So what we're going to start with is our grid. So we're going to roll all these dice together. David, I'll give you the honors.
Okay.
Roll them all up as a pool. That will give us our initial thing, and we'll go into our setup. I'm playing Joe DeBiggs.
Okay.
He's an attraction salesman. That's pretty much what he gets in there, and he sells people on big fun. It's all about making those deals, making a big, exciting. He's brought in as he's basically a consultant for amusement, an amusement consultant for parks that are looking to upgrade or like arcades that need to come into the modern age. That's what they call in Joe DeBiggs for the big ideas. He has been brought into this zoo, not yet named. If you guys think of a name, go for it, to compete with Kings Mountain or any of those
Yes.
big locations, and keep the zoo on the map.
My character is Drew Dreyfus. He's definitely that stereotypical reptile housekeeper, where him going home from the reptile house is just another reptile house. He's just got a bunch of tanks floor to ceiling where he keeps a bunch of his own little lizards, and as such doesn't super get along with other people because he doesn't super care about other people, but definitely cares about the well-being of his animals and wants them to be safe and happy, no matter cost, either to himself or to maybe the zoo.
So my character I named Ted Flimshaw. He's 54. He's been at the zoo since he was 15 years old. He's been working at the zoo for 39 years at this point, almost 40 years at the zoo. He has a limp. He can't go around the big animals anymore, which is part of the story behind the limp, which he doesn't really tell to anybody. He's very invested in the zoo and his animals, the ones that he's still able to attend to.
Those are our characters. Our grid, we have between Joe DeBiggs and Drew Dreyfus, my character and Will's, community relationship, losing property in the new zoo expansion project, and an object that defines our relationship, a secret, a video of an expedition that didn't go as planned. And then between Will and David's characters, between Drew and Ted, we have a keeper's relationship, small mammal keeper and reptile house keeper, and a location that helps define their group, the wild underwater with the fishes.
Okay.
And between Ted Flimshaw and Joe DeBiggs, there is an illicit relationship. One is the liar, one has the evidence. So Joe DeBiggs is a liar, and Ted Flimshaw has the evidence. They also have a need that defines their relationship to get even with those monsters who let poor Buttons die. So that is our setup, that's our grid. We'll get into playing our characters and our scenes. Yeah, we hear the sounds of peacocks, and the lights across the park, across the zoo, start to go off. And all you have in this empty parking lot are those yellow street lights that kind of mark parking spaces. And driving just kind of hill-nil at an angle through all the parking spaces, flashing through the light, is this big, loud, wide car. And it pulls right up in front of the zoo, and out steps Joe DeBiggs, and he surveys the zoo.
Vanity plate.
Yeah. It says, "So Biggs." Bigzer. He looks out over this zoo, and standing there in front of him are two keepers who were set to close that night, Drew Dreyfus and Ted Flimshaw. They've been tasked to meet this guy and show him around the park. And Joe really wants to get on your guys' good side.
Okay.
All right, boys. What's going on here, huh?
Well, Mr.
How are we going to save your zoo?
DeBiggs, me and Drew, we're just closing up the park, but yeah, we would love to show you some things that we think are really great about the zoo.
I'm sure they are. And nothing we can't, boom, pump up, right? Nothing we can, like stuff that I'll make sure that there's some big flashy signs that point to these cool little things that you guys are going to show me.
Well,
I'd like to think that some of the animals really speak for themselves.
and flashy signs, that might disturb some of their sleeping.
You guys, you kidders, it'll be fine. These little critters will be just all right.
Well,
They need more attention is what they need.
well, I'm not sure about that, Mr. DeBiggs, but I was told to help you with what you're doing here, so I guess I'll do my best.
Well, what should we check out first?
What do you think there, Drew? You want to show them?
Let's get through the animals that are starting to go to sleep first, so you have something to look at least before they go to sleep.
I'm sure there's, they're not going anywhere. We could wake them up, right?
Mr. DeBiggs, you don't want to wake up an animal when they're sleeping. That's not very nice.
Well, that's something I've been talking to you about is, keeping this place up late hours, right? Like having a zoo after dark. Maybe we'll make a night shift crew of animals too to entertain people.
You haven't spent much time around animals, I can tell, Mr. DeBiggs. You can't really control them like that. Otherwise, you're gonna have a big mess on your hands.
They'll be fine.
Well, why don't we can we think about that? I'm not sure if that's gonna work for our zoo.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, let's what's your main attraction here? What's the thing?
Well, everybody loves Drew's snakes.
Yeah, we got bunch of boas. We imported them from South America. Got about a dozen now, all in different tanks.
What do they eat?
Well, mice mostly.
That's why I kind of stay away sometimes when they're doing the feeding of the snakes because it reminds me of my little friends.
Oh yeah, I'm starting to see an opportunity here. So you're saying that we basically have these vicious reptiles that'll eat anything, and we have a bunch of.
They're actually quite gentle, Mr. DeBiggs.
Sounds to me like they'll eat these small mammals by the score.
Well, they're kind of like those like feed and stock chickens. Like they're bred for to be fed to the reptiles.
I think God bred all these animals probably to be fed to the reptiles if we do it right.
Mr.
You guys ever been to a gator park?
I'm not sure that we're on the same page here with what these animals are for.
Well, wait. We all want to save the zoo.
Well, that's
right?
true. That's true.
And
and the animals inside it, sir. Yes.
And after the bad press, after you lost, was it Buttons? That was all over the news. Those kids that saw that happen. Woof.
Well, that was just wrong place at the wrong time. That's what that was. And unfortunately, I feel like somebody made a couple mistakes, and that's unfortunate. But it had nothing to do with the animals.
Oh, and I think Drew actually he gives a very practiced response. This comes off very almost robotic, where he's like, "That was an unfortunate circumstance, and we can't be held responsible because we weren't given enough money to follow the correct protocols in that instance."
Well, incidents like that may not happen if we get enough funding in.
And I think that's why we're able to have this conversation today, Mr. Biggs. Otherwise, we wouldn't need you. But matter of the fact is, we do.
Well, I think I've got a few ideas for expansion. And what I really want, though, is I want you guys on board to make sure that my ideas have your backing. And that way, the things you want are going to be in my ideas. That's going to be the most important thing for me. So this will be a point where you guys decide whether it's going to go good or bad for Joe DeBiggs.
I think it goes well for Joe DeBiggs.
It goes well, yeah?
I
David,
think he gets what he
feel
wants. I think he's able to berate them enough.
Yes.
He's a big personality, and he kind of gets what he wants out of this.
Listen, I'm telling you, my plans need to be our plan. All right? Ted, what do you want for the park?
I just want to keep this park a place where people can come have a good time and the animals are safe, and that people understand what these animals have to offer.
You know what I heard? People having a good time. We are simpatico. We need to get one of them blood tests, see if we're brothers.
I don't think we are, sir.
Man, you're right there with me. People, good times. That's where we need to be. You're right, Ted. You're on my wavelength. What about you, Drew? What do you want?
I do see the resemblance, if that's what you're asking.
Bro, come on.
I just would like to see this zoo be what we all want it to be, and that's with people in it, enjoying the animals we all come here to enjoy.
Boom. People enjoying themselves. We are all on the same page. All right, gang. Let's do this thing. Seen enough. Let's see.
Okay, Mr.
Yeah.
DeBiggs.
As the lights fade as they walk off into the park to show the animals, we then fade in on like black lights inside the reptile house as almost a little pre-dawn as Drew showed up to work early, started to take care of the nocturnal animals that are starting to go to sleep. Through what is obviously the exit door, a construction crew just like bangs through, and you'd see a construction guy or like the foreman be like, all right, I'd like this taken out and this taken out, and you guys see guys coming in with sledgehammers and a bunch of other stuff. Behind them is like talking to maybe like one of the other bigwigs of the corporate is Joe DeBiggs.
Okay. So in this scene, if you want to play the corporate guy,
Okay.
I can play Joe DeBiggs, and we'll go for it. And so what does Drew want from this scene?
Finishes up what he's doing as fast as he can and is trying to actively stop the foreman from doing too much damage, both temporarily and long term. So he definitely approaches his like, sir, you can't knock that out. You can't be in here right now. Can we possibly do this later?
Whoa. Chill out, Mr. Lizard. What's this? What's your fellow's name here?
This is who am I again? I'm your
You're a
corporate guy.
What's his name?
My name?
Yeah, what's your big corporate name?
This is Ben Travel Shanks. We've hired these guys to take care of working on the construction of this building because we need to start setting it up so that it can house more supplies for the park when we get things moving.
That's right, Drew. You heard your boss. You heard the man.
I wasn't given any memos about sending these animals off site while this construction is happening. I was understood that that's what was going to happen with the animals during construction.
Well, we can just put them in the same tanks, right? Save space. I think that'd be the easiest thing.
Man, look at this idea guy here, Drew.
No, sir. They need different climates and different relationships, and they don't all necessarily get along, sir.
Well, I've got all these men here. You want me to send them home at this time of night? That doesn't make sense, does it?
I suppose they don't have the authority, but yes, sir. That would compromise the integrity of the zoo.
Listen, Shanks. Drew here's a good kid, all right? We were talking the other day. He's on board. He wants people to enjoy this place, right? He'll figure out a way to keep the lizards safe while we build the screamer through here.
Well, we have a schedule.
Sorry. The screamer, sir.
Oh, you're right. No, yeah. Screamer was its name when we bought it from the park that's closing. It's gonna be the Red Sidewinder.
Yeah.
All right, Shanks named it that. I like that.
Because it's gonna be where the lizards are. So it's like the sidewinder, like a snake.
Yeah, and not most of them are red, right? Oh shit. What do you have like snake paint? Maybe we could paint some of them red.
Snake paint, sir.
Oh, dye. A dye might be better.
The
if
snakes
it
could
lasts-
match the coaster.
Oh, that would be fantastic, Drew. You're our man.
I don't quite understand. Do you want me to paint the coaster snake colors? Do you want me to paint my snakes coaster colored?
That's it.
You got it. You are Drew.
There's
I
gotta
told
be
you.
there's gotta be snake paint, right? They do that in movies all the time.
Yeah, you. How much you paying this kid?
Ha! Not enough, I guess, right? Drew, we need to talk about
One thing we agree on,
how
sir.
what's that?
Nothing, sir.
Well, I was thinking, Drew, there might be some big opportunities for you if we can sort of get this coaster really working on time.
What time is that, sir? Why are we doing that? I guess that's the real question. Why are we doing this now? When is the timeline for this?
It's pretty far off. You're right, but you know what? We need publicity stills. So we're gonna build enough of this stuff that we can have some people screaming and having and hollering a good time, so we can put it up on the website.
Right, and DeBiggs, he's got a lot riding on us getting this stuff done too. So you'd be helping him a lot too if you can get this to get moving on schedule.
This is the point
Where a choice comes.
Yeah, where it either goes
I feel like it's going bad.
Can I at least get a few hours to move the animals, sir, before this happens?
Oh, kiddo, these guys here. They're not union. It's not safe for us to keep them, working on site for too long.
It's probably
be
better if
fast.
you get out of here, because if you stay here, there's a chance you could get hurt. And then who'd take care of your snake lizards?
Okay, and I think Drew just like pretty close to shuts down there and is like, okay, sorry, sir. Hustles out. Possibly a couple of the snakes die in.
Yeah, it's like a sledgehammer
Yes,
hits a
yeah.
rock that just shreds
Yeah, like-
like plaster
You
down
hear
into a
it
lizard.
And maybe a couple escape into the wild.
Yes.
Maybe.
I think I'm going to set up a scene in the past, and it's not going to be too far in the past. It's going to be basically when DeBiggs first came to scout out the zoo to see if there's an opportunity to turn it into something larger. He found himself, wandering around the small mammal area, opening doors and walking in cages, maybe without a lot of care. That's up to him. I would also like to have zoo security around for Ted to interact with, to see if there are ways that we can get DeBiggs to be a little bit more respectful of what he's doing. Hey, zoo security guy, what's your name again?
My name is Kellogg, sir.
Kellogg. I came here to do the feeding, and I see this guy walking all through my animals. What's going on?
I was told that he has special authority here, sir. The head of the zoo claimed that Mr. DeBiggs has pretty fair clearance all over the zoo.
But
Is he posing a threat to the animals, sir?
yeah, look, he's opening the cages and he's going in there and look, this guy's just got out of his cage. I have to put him back in now, my little guinea pig. Oh.
I'm not sure what damage he possibly could do. I could escort you to talk to him, possibly, if you feel unsafe doing this.
Well, I would like you to come along, because I need to talk to him. So, excuse me, sir. Sir, can
Oh.
I talk to you?
Sure.
My name is Ted Flimshaw. I'm a keeper here at the zoo.
Flimshaw, great to meet you. I'm hoping to work with y'all. I'm Joe DeBiggs.
Well,
You may have heard of my work.
Mr. DeBiggs. I just have to ask you if you. I understand you might have some reason to be in here, but if you could maybe not disturb the animals so much, it'd be really appreciated. See, you've let some of these out. I'm not saying you did it on purpose, but some of these animals, they see an open cage and they just run.
Oh, I apologize profusely. I was just looking for that. You said you had a packet. I heard you had a pachyderm with dwarfism, like a little miniature elephant.
Oh, you mean Buttons?
Yeah, I was. All I'm saying is I was opening doors looking for him.
Well,
and
Buttons
I,
is. Yeah, I can take you to Buttons. You probably walked past him not too long ago. Did you come over this way?
I definitely came through the front, saw him. He was in his cage in the front part, and I went around back. They said just to kind of go in through the back entrance there, and I
Wait,
opened some
The
doors.
back entrance, that's not for public use. That leads right to their feeding area that they share with those hyenas.
Look, I saw four-legged animals. They were
Oh.
cute as can be.
I have a bad feeling about this. Kellogg, were you anywhere near the feeding area? Did you see anything happen?
No, I know that, and he looks at his watch. I know that the hyenas are scheduled to feed here in just a couple minutes.
Oh my gosh.
Well, do they? That's a public display, right? You know what? I'd love to catch that. Can we go check it out?
Oh, well, we have, yeah, because if again, I'm not saying you did anything, but if any of the animals got in there, it's going to be a disaster. The children.
I certainly didn't. What do you? No,
What? We have to go. Whoa, no. Buttons. Wait, Buttons is in there, and I see the hyenas coming.
Children, please step back. This is not sanctioned by the zoo. Please
It's like
step
a whole
back.
class that has been brought to the zoo today, and they're watching the hyena feed.
Oh no, it's school day. Oh no, Buttons.
Please put your phones away.
Buttons, come to Papa. Oh no. All right.
Well, is this where things
I think
go?
this is where things go.
Good or bad?
I think actually, in a weird way, this goes well.
if I can just get past you real quick, I think I might be able to get over to that slider gate to block
Oh,
things
be my guest.
things
I mean,
off.
you know the zoo.
Oh yeah. Oh, there we go. Oh, okay. Well, the hyenas did not get in here and to hurt little Buttons, so that's such a relief.
Whew, yeah, I'm with you. I'm glad the little fella's fine, but it would have been a show.
Mr. DeBiggs, I can't believe you're saying that.
No, you're right. Where was my head? I'm sorry. That is a cute little fella. What you said? Buttons is his name.
Buttons. Hey, scene.
Scene. This is DeBiggs. He's got news crews there, sort of like a banner day. He's standing in front of the puny pachyderm exhibit. There's a big red ribbon, and he's got a huge pair of scissors. Shanks is there. Flimshaw's there. A bunch of news people are there. And DeBiggs is excited to unveil this memorial to Buttons,
Yes.
the pachyderm, the late,
Okay.
the deceased pachyderm, as part of his rollout, his media rollout
Okay.
plan. And so he hands the scissors to Shanks and says, "All right, you got it. You gotta get up there and give a speech. And I'm gonna hang back here with you, with our man Ted, and we're gonna see how this goes."
Okay.
And so Joe wants this ribbon cutting and this like ceremony unveiling the statue of a little bronze pachyderm to go well. Ted, buddy, it was. I was just thinking back on when we first met and when I met our cute little friend Buttons.
Oh.
I feel like we bonded over Buttons.
Oh, well, sir, I'm just heartbroken. I just don't understand. I mean, I thought I was going to lose him that day, and now to actually have lost him in such a similar way when I thought he was safe.
Yeah, it was tragic. But from tragedy comes opportunity.
Oh, sir, I think that something questionable is going on here. I feel like somebody had to have left that gate open for him.
You think who stands to gain from that? Who do you could it
Well,
have been?
I wouldn't.
Could it have been Shanks?
Oh, I would say that about Shanks. But certainly, this is a pretty big opportunity that they've made this into.
Well, I don't know what caused that little cute fella to go wild like that and charge those kids. But, I don't blame Kellogg for putting him down like he did.
Kellogg feels so terrible. I talked to him the other day.
He hasn't been back to work, huh?
Well, no, that's true, actually. I haven't seen him since then. He must be so upset.
Yeah, that's a heavy burden to bear. I can imagine.
Yeah. He mentioned to me one time about these what do you call them? He called them like his little seeing eye dogs all over the park to keep track of things. Maybe there's something that'll help us figure out what happened to Buttons.
Oh, I think at this point it's important we remember Buttons, and that's what this is about. This is what this statue is. That's why I've made it a mission for you, for me, for Kellogg, that we keep Buttons' exhibit pristine and just put this little bronze statue in it so that people remember Buttons how he was, not the frothing, red-eyed thing that charges at children.
Yeah, I don't want to remember him that way either. But I just gotta think that somebody did something to poor Buttons. That was not in him like that.
What could cause that? Kind of, I don't know. Is it something in the water? What could cause such blind rage in an animal?
In almost 40 years of keeping small animals, I want to say that there are some things that can still surprise me, and this is one of them. I don't have an answer for you, but I'm going to try and figure it out.
Well, regardless of how this happened, which again I think we just leave it in the past. I think we move forward with our memories of Buttons. Why don't you get up there and stand by Shanks as he cuts that ribbon? I think that would be real nice. Someone who is so close to Buttons to be, in the public eye. You're a fixture here at the zoo.
Oh, all right. If that's what you think is best, I'll do it.
All right. So how's this ribbon cutting gonna go
Hold on.
for Joe?
You go bad because then we'll see what happens.
Okay. You go up there, and as you turn your back, you don't notice the shift in Joe Biggs.
Mhm.
And he grinds his teeth. The cameraman gets in his face and is like, "This is one of your big days, Joe." And Joe's like, pushes him out of the way. "Oh, those little spies, huh? Kellogg's been keeping secrets, huh? Flimshaw's right in the middle of it. This isn't good. This isn't good for me and good for Joe. Oh, man." And as he sort of like mumbles and stumbles, a couple reporters follow him. You know, he like kicks they're like one of the pictures that makes the spread, like a page 6 kind of thing, is like him in a rage kicking a kid, you know, who got in his way. Like
Be
he's
the
just kind of
kid.
in a, you know, like kicks him, spills his popcorn, and is like yells at him. So you just have this red faced Joe to Biggs, his dark side turned out.
Yes. Okay.
That's how it goes bad.
Okay. Good.
I'm actually going to let you guys
Set a scene.
set a scene here.
Okay. I kind of would like to figure out something to do with location, like underwater with the fishes.
So what if it's a scene with like the zoo would do like visiting like a zoological conference?
Sure.
And you keepers went on it, and it's like on the West Coast or something.
Okay.
And
Sure.
it's in like a San Francisco aquarium kind of like
Oh, nice. Okay.
area. Marine biologists
Yeah.
had like an after party,
Okay.
and you guys went out like on a sort of like booze cruise scuba
Yes.
expedition.
Okay. Yes.
and so that's
Okay.
the
That's the
scene.
scene.
That so Drew's there, and but so what would he want?
He would want to be talking about, or want to be trying to figure out ways how to not lose space for his creatures.
That was the other thing I was going to ask, is like, where in the timeline does this fit?
I'm feeling this is it's either like we've jumped forward in time and like part of kind of to like ease tensions. You guys were sent to this
Okay,
conference.
that's good. I
And
like
also
that.
maybe get them out of the way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, I think that's good.
The underwater with the fishes stuff.
I think it's because that to me is kind of where we're bonding a
Okay.
little bit over, like we're doing our little snorkeling, scuba diving. I actually like the idea of, you know, those things where you put the helmets on, you know,
Yeah.
and you just walk around underwater, but you can talk to each other.
Okay.
So it's inside. It's not even a real like water. Maybe it's like in an aquarium. We're just walking around a tank and we're like looking at fishes as we're talking.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
You guys are in the scene.
And I think that do we need to have an NPC character?
Yeah, I think Dr. Sandra,
Okay.
the leader of the aquarium hosting the seminar,
Yeah.
is there,
Okay.
kind of guiding us along in this journey.
Okay. You can speak to us through our headpieces.
Yeah.
Okay. Drew, this is I gotta say, I never thought I'd be in a big fish tank with like sharks and turtles and stuff. This is pretty crazy.
It is pretty fun being on the other side of the tank, as it were.
That's right.
Oh, you dry dockers. You guys are loving this.
Yeah. Thanks so much for inviting us out to your wild water park.
Yeah. Hey, I'll give you guys heads up, but we do like to, you know, send a shot down the tube, we call it. So heads up. I may tell you to hold your breath for a sec and then breathe real deep.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, Doctor.
Okay. So Drew, you know, I don't know about how you're feeling with all these changes at the park, but I gotta say I'm not super comfortable with them, and I don't necessarily know that I believe everything that Joe DeBiggs is telling us at this point.
He definitely has some ideas, and I think long term they may seem good for the park or for the zoo. Sorry, I keep doing that.
Me too.
But yeah, his methods are not something I would normally agree with.
Yeah.
I know we've cut down almost to half the square footage of the reptile house just to make more and more room for this sidewinder they're putting in, and it's messing with sleep schedules and stressing out all the other reptiles.
Yeah, I've seen that. I've noticed how stressful it has been, especially for you. You seem to really be the one that's getting the most hurt by everything that's happening, at least at this point.
I think it's hurting me as much as it's hurting the animals, and I think it's just really hard to see them going through this and seeing the zoo that I cared about and the animals I cared about getting put by the wayside and claiming it's for their own good.
It's kind of like how I felt with what happened to Buttons a little bit. I mean, I know people say, and I've said it was an accident, and I just, the more I think about it, I'm just not really sure anymore, and I kind of the more I kind of poke around and see what I can find, you know, I'm not sure what's going on there. I think we need to find a way to sort of hold our ground and not let them take over as much as they have been.
I think you're right. It's unfortunate that that we've lost not only the integrity of the park, I think, but some of our good staff members too. Is to see Kellogg go, to see other members of the security team go, to see them put them in-house security people.
And they got those robots walking around the park now too. They're horrible. They scare the animals almost as much as the children.
Yeah, I don't say I care much for them either, but I don't know. Speaking of Kellogg, I got a really weird email from him the other day.
Oh, who wants more oxygen?
I'm feeling a little lightheaded. That'd be good.
All right, I'm gonna up the percentage. You guys might get a little goofy.
Okay. All right. Oh wait, I think I might already feel that because look, there's a barracuda right there. I don't even care.
Oh
Be
man,
careful.
this auction is pretty fun stuff.
It is. It's like Christmas and a birthday all at once.
It's about that. They talk about that diver's high.
Yeah, the diver's high. Yeah.
Yeah, you
Well-
dry dockers, we gotta get you. We gotta get you into some water more often.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely leave us down here just a bit longer, maybe.
Well, yeah. I know. What were you about to tell me? You were about to tell me something?
What was I about to tell you? I don't know. It just seems so silly now.
Maybe
Yeah.
this is where you make the decision, Will.
Yeah.
Okay. I think this goes well. Ted was so interested in what he said, did just latch onto it, that he is able to remind him, hopefully. Drew's like, oh, it's a really weird email. Something about a requisition of clearance for the feeding pen and feeding times specifically for... The request was literally for some kind of carnivore and buttons.
Oh no. Well, I don't know. I don't know what that means, but well, I mean, I hate to laugh, but I think this oxygen is making me crazy. I feel like we might have to get back to the zoo pretty quick.
All right, let's just stay down here a little bit longer.
Okay.
All right, so Ted, this will be the last scene of Act 1.
Okay. I think it's gonna be Ted back at the park after our adventure out west, looking at some information that Drew passed along from Kellogg, going through a supply room that has animal medicines in it. I think that there would be a supply clerk in there. The person responsible for animals' food might also happen to stop by at some point.
Okay.
Okay.
And Ted's trying to get info.
Trying to get info. Hey, excuse me, you're the clerk of this supply room, right?
Yeah, Ted, right? I don't know if we formally met
Yeah.
since I came on.
Well, you've been here for a little while, right? When did you start?
Well, it was. I'm gonna say 2 months. AB. We can say after
Aw.
buttons.
2 months after buttons. Aw. Well,
But I'm Jackie Load.
Jackie. Well,
Yeah.
Jackie, it's so nice to meet you. I'm here because of what happened to Buttons. I just can't get that picture of him out of my head. Running through the
Then they played it over and over on the news.
I know. Running around the park like he was a hyena instead of, like those monsters that tried to get him and unfortunately eventually did. I wanted to know, do you have any sense of these medicines and stuff that we got here? If there's anything that might make an animal crazy like that?
Well, I mean, theoretically, there are pathogens. We mostly have treatments for those pathogens here. Yeah, I mean, I could look and see if there's anything that. Yeah, I don't know. Let me call in. Hey, Flode, can you come in here?
Yeah, what do you need?
So, Flode, you've worked with Ted before.
Yeah. Hey,
Oh,
Float.
Yeah.
How you doing?
Good.
So, Flode, you've been doing you've been dealing with food additives mostly, right? With the meal planning.
Recently,
'Cause
yeah, I'm dealing with a lot of cortisol levels in the animals, trying to keep those down with the construction. keeps them more relaxed
Mhm.
usually.
Would you have been able to maybe get him more excited if you wanted to?
Yeah, what would I don't know what kind of medicines we might have that would do that, but
I mean, I think there are definitely some stimulants that would maybe get them a little more hyper, like caffeine to you and me.
we're thinking more raged out, like bad buttons.
Like bad buttons, exactly.
I would be remiss if I didn't say that I hadn't thought about it, and much to what you said there, I don't think that there are any medicines, specifically any chemicals. There are some specific, not diseases, but pathogens, like you said, that we keep on site to create antibodies and vaccines for.
Oh, we do keep those on site. I wasn't
They're
again like I've
they're
been,
in clean rooms,
okay.
with specific protocols for getting in and out.
Yeah.
Only specific clearances can get in and out.
And I know because I feed the animals a lot myself, but when it's not who else would have access to getting some food over to Buttons? Because I remember feeding Buttons that morning, but when I went back afterwards, it looked like Buttons had been eating something that afternoon, which was not part of their schedule.
So AB, there are very few people that have access to feeding. We don't want another incident of that kind to occur,
Mhm.
so we've been trying to limit the access to those. BB, before Buttons, as it were. There were quite a few assistants and keepers of other habitats that might be flexing in to help feed.
I see.
That may have had access in case someone's off or we need access to those vaccines outside of the normal schedule.
And note, I mean, I've been trying to make sense of things, but the woman who's here before me did not keep great records. But I can look and see if I can find anything.
Well, that would be great. I'd be very helpful. I'd be very interested to see if you do, because I just feel like I want to figure out what happened to poor Buttons, and I'm trying to cover all my bases. That's all this is.
Again, Ted, I've played the scenarios over and over. I think what happened was just sloppy protocol, accidents. It sounds like you suspect foul play of some kind.
Well, there's been a lot happening here at the zoo. You know that, and certain things seem to happen just at the right time, so that this park expansion. I have to be honest. I've thought that what happened to Buttons really was a big part of opening the door to changing the way we do things around here.
Well, that may be true, but hand over my heart. A lot of good has come of it. We have been able to give the animals better food. We are getting a lot more visitorship. That event, awful as it was, has spurred a lot of great growth for this park.
Well, I can't argue with that, but I appreciate all your information. And
Well, how's it going to go? How do you think, Will, it should go for old Ted?
It goes bad in the way that the records are there,
Mm.
but they either are scant. Well, I guess this is for you to define,
Yeah.
but I think
So you want to go bad?
they're not exactly what you're hoping for.
Okay.
so,
Well, here's what I have for you.
oh, well, this is great. Hey, actually, look. Wait a second. This shows that Buttons did get a meal in the afternoon, and it was just his regular food. There's no special medicine or anything here.
Well, let me see that. Let me see something. Let me check a log here. Can you read me the number for who scanned in on the thing?
Well,
Click, click,
the
clack,
number
clack.
the number's not there. Wait, what does that mean?
Let me cross-reference. What time was it? What time does it say?
The time isn't there either, but it had to have been, I don't know.
What was a normal feeding
2 o'clock?
time? And what was the date again?
I can never forget this date. It was July 2nd.
July 2nd. Oh, that is weird, Ted. It says that you logged into the paddock there.
Me? See,
So now what's going to happen is we've finished Act 2 and we're going to generate a tilt.
Okay.
All right, so we've generated our tilt. We have guilt, betrayed by friends, and paranoia. What seems like dumb luck isn't. Things are afoot. We interrupt our story here and we'll resume in our next communique. I was one of your players, John Holt. You can find me on Twitter at Lord Joho and on Instagram at board_ghost. You can find my media review podcast at newtoyoushow.com and my book club podcast at woundandstab.com. Will, where can people find you?
You can find me on my very tiny Instagram, Nantucket Sommelier. Otherwise, I have a very small online presence.
All right. And David, where can people find you?
You can find me at huckleberrytravel.com.
All right. And what trips can you recommend right now?
Maybe to a zoo. We could recommend trips to Africa. We've got great safari ideas for people. We've got a lot of people going to Iceland, which is fantastic, and also lots of trips to Cuba.
To learn more about the players and engine in our story, visit boardghost.com. You can help collaborate in making the show by helping us out on Patreon at patreon.com/boardghost. There you can get access to wallpapers of the episode art. You can get access to the full episode the week that the first part drops so that you don't have to wait another week to hear the whole thing. And you can get, at a certain level, exclusive how-to-play videos for some of these games that we play. You can attempt to pierce the veil and contact us at BoardGhostWorld on Twitter. Shout out through the ether if you have desires we can fulfill. Leave reviews and comments on iTunes, your preferred listening portal. Please take a moment to subscribe so you don't miss out on the latest episodes. We'd like to thank Pat Couples for our theme song and interlude music. You can find more about Pat at patcouples.tumblr.com or on his band's website, hotelsandhighways.com. If you're not alone in the void, share our stories. The more they're consumed, the truer they become.
Dying don't agree with me.